is alcohols. So basically alcohols क्या होता है? When just a second, alcohols, right? So what happens? So when if there is an aliphatic hydrocarbon, right? So hydrogen in aliphatic hydrocarbon is replaced by your OH, right? जब आप हाइड्रोक्सिल ग्रुप OH ग्रुप से अगर आप एक हाइड्रोजन को रिप्लेस कराते हो, so that will give you a alcohol. And alcohol general, how we write down the alcohol, so ROH. R is any aliphatic hydrocarbon chain and OH groups are denoted, right? So basically hydrogen in aliphatic hydrocarbon chain hydrocarbon is replaced by OH group, by your OH group. Okay, so which gives you ROH. For
Ma'am, what does
example,
aliphatic mean exactly? Aliphatic hydrocarbon?
aliphatic can be your open chain structure or cyclic structure भी हो सकते हैं. Means the other
Okay.
than the aromatic. Aliphatic
Okay.
carbon chain, your simple open chain structure, or it can be your cyclic structure too. Just remember that. अगर
Okay.
साइक्लिक स्ट्रक्चर होता है वो भी आप एलिफेटिक हो सकता है, राइट? वहां पे
Yeah.
लेकिन आपका कॉन्जुगेटेड सिस्टम नहीं होगा, राइट? ऑल्टरनेट सिंगल एंड डबल बॉन्ड यू विल नॉट फाइंड दैट. ओके, जस्ट लाइक आपका
Okay.
एरोमेटिक में होता है वैसा आपको नहीं मिलेगा एज अ एलिफेटिक है. Examples you can see, yeah, your CH3, CH2OH. What is the name of this alcohol? Ahil, try to name this.
This is ethanol. Ethanol.
Yeah, it's ethanol. Okay. So that's the alcohol, just remember that. So you have to
Okay.
remove the hydrogen. Suppose uh if there is a CH3, right? C2H6, right? And just remove one hydrogen from here, one hydrogen on, and just replace this one hydrogen from the OH group. Right? So you will get CH3, CH2, OH. Okay, so this is your ethanol. Similarly, अगर आप phenol, suppose let's talk about, this is the first term, alcohol, and second is your phenols, right? So basically जब हम phenols की बात करते हैं तो we will talk about the aromatic type of hydrocarbon, right? So basically hydrogen, what is phenol? So hydrogen in aromatic hydrocarbon is replaced by your OH group, by your OH group. Right? And phenol को how you can write? So basically आप लिख सकते हो your aromatic rings with OH group. When the OH group is directly attached to the your aromatic ring, or basically aromatic की बात होती है तो it means benzene. Benzene. This is your OH. This is your phenol group, right? So what happens? So basically if there is a benzene group, suppose यहाँ पे आपका hydrogen है, so just you have to replace this hydrogen from OH group. So you will get phenol. Right. So basically
Yeah.
hydrogen in aromatic hydrocarbon is replaced by OH group. So you will get the phenol.
Yeah.
And आप denote करते phenol को just like this. Now the third one is a ether. Ethers. Now what is ethers? So basically ethers in we just write it as ROR. Like if both the alkyl groups are same, so we can write ROR, or if the alkyl groups different भी हो सकते हैं, right? So ROR dash, or sometimes RO, and here aromatic आप लगा सकते हो. That is again a ether, right? So basically
Yeah.
hydrogen atom in a hydrocarbon chain, and that hydrocarbon chain could be your aromatic or aliphatic, कुछ भी हो सकता है, right? So when the
Hmm.
hydrogen atom in a hydrocarbon chain is substituted by alkoxy group or aryl oxy group, right? When you are using the aromatic aryl group, so you will write aryl oxy group, and for the alkoxy group, आप just alkyl group को जब आप ये करते हो तो आप you will write down the alkoxy group. So first write down the definition: hydrogen atom in a hydrocarbon is substituted. It is substituted by your alkoxy, means your OR group, right? अगर आप alkyl के
हाँ,
साथ O add कर रहे हो, that is your alkoxy group, right? Means this RO group, this is your alkoxy group. And when you are just substituting OR in your aromatic ring with your O group, so this is your aryl oxy. Aryl group के साथ अगर आप ऑक्सीजन लगा रहे हो तो that is your aryl oxy group,
okay.
or aryl oxy groups को ether मिलता है. Okay, so ये basic introduction हो गई, all about your alcohols, phenols, and ethers. Now see, let's talk about the classification. Just like जैसे हमने halogen, haloalkanes and halo. Yeah. Now see, classification. Write on the heading. Classification. First, based on the number of hydroxyl group. Number of hydroxyl. Hydroxyl means OH group. First classification is your monohydric. Right? So if only one OH group, hydroxyl group is present, so it is known as monohydric. Monohydric, right? So monohydric, only one hydroxyl group is present in that compound or molecule, you can say. So suppose CH3OH, right? So you can see over here, this is your methanol. This is your methanol. Only one OH group is
Yeah.
there. Right, so this is your monohydric type of alcohol. Monohydric alcohol, right? Monohydric alcohol means only one OH group is present, only one hydroxyl group is present, then it is known as monohydric alcohol. Methanol. Okay, similarly, मैं यहाँ पे alcohol लिखती हूँ and this side I'm writing the phenol. Okay, so if only one OH group is attached to the aromatic ring, then it is known as monohydric phenol. Monohydric phenol. What is this? This is phenol.
Hmm.
And this is your monohydric example. Second type, dihydric. Dihydric. So di means two. So if two OH group is present, then it is known as dihydric alcohol or dihydric phenol. Examples, write down, if CH2 means ethane is there, right? And on both the carbon, OH group is attached, right? So what is this? So this is your dihydric. You can see two OH groups are attached. Two OH groups are present. And this is basically known as, a common name for this is glycol. This is your glycol. और आप ये भी लिख सकते हो ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol or simply glycol भी कहते हैं, right? So this is the common name of this structure, ethylene glycol. And yeah, there are two O's. If you write down the IUPAC nomenclature, so I will discuss it again, the how to name this type of compound like your alcohol, phenols, and ether. But here, I just want to discuss it over here. Like OH, see, this is two carbon, right? So this is your parent chain, right? 1 and 2. तो आप इसका IUPAC नेम कैसे लिखोगे? Obviously, on the first position and the second position as well, there are OH groups, right? So
Yeah.
1, 2 diols. What is? There are two ols, right? तो डाइहाइड्रिक के लिए हम
Yeah.
क्या यूज करते हैं? डाइओल्स. हम इसे डाइओल्स भी कहते हैं. Dihydric,
Yeah.
if they are alcohols, they are known as diols. So it how we can write down the name of this? Just tell me. IUPAC name क्या होगा इसका?
Uh, one, no, it'll be ethane, 1, 2 diol.
Yeah, very good. Ethane 1, 2 diols. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this is your monohydric phenol. Second, if there is a monohydric or dihydric phenol, dihydric OH, and here the OH group is again. This is again an example of dihydric. Two OH group is attached directly to the benzene ring, right? So this is again a dihydric type of phenol, and इसे हम commonly क्या कहते हैं? Catechol. This is commonly known as catechol. And what is the IUPAC nomenclature of this? So it's a benzene ring, right? So
Yeah.
benzene one and two diols. Its name is benzene 1, 2, 1, 2 diol. Yeah. Now the third one is your trihydrate. Trihydrate means three OH group is attached, right? If we are talking about the alcohols, then three OH group is attached, and this is also known as triols. Triols. Okay. Now let's see the examples. If CH2, OH, CH2, OH, and again CH2, OH. Right? So you can see there are three OH group attached, right? Three OH group is present. So what we call it as, this is your triols or trihydric alcohol, right? और इसे हम क्या कहते हैं commonly? So we call it as a glycerol. Glycerol. It's O. Yeah, so आपको कॉमन नेम
Yeah.
इन सब का याद रखना होगा. दस डायोस के लिए हम क्या कहते हैं? दिस इज योर ग्लाइकॉल, इथिलीन ग्लाइकॉल, and the common name for this when the three OH group is attached, so it is your glycerol. Similarly, for the phenol, is here the OH group is there, and again there is a OH group. Right, so this is a trihydric type of phenol. राइट. एंड इसे हम पायरोगैलोल भी कहते हैं. कॉमन नेम फॉर दिस इज पायरोगैलोल. पायरोगैलोल. And what will be the IUPAC nomenclature? So it's benzene and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, comma, 3, comma, triol. Triol. Got it?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not compulsory always that the oxygen is attached in this sequence 1, 2, 3. Sometimes oxygen ये कहीं पे भी attached हो सकता है. Not oxygen, OH group, whole OH group.
Yeah.
Suppose in the dihydric type, this OH is there, right, on the first 1 and 2 position. If on 1 and 2 position पे अगर both the OH is attached, then it is known as catechol. Now, if the OH is attached on the 1 and 3rd position, suppose this is your 1 position, right, and this is your third position, 1 and 3rd position, right? So you know very well it's ortho, meta, and para. So if the OH is attached on the meta position, right? Suppose इसके corresponding ये क्या है? Meta position. तो meta position पे अगर attached है,
Mhm.
तो this is your resorcine. Resorcine. इसे क्या कहते हैं? Resorcine. So 1 and 1, 3 diols, right? Benzene 1, 3 diol is known as resorcine. Similarly, if अगर मैं इसे OH यहाँ पे फर्स्ट पोजीशन, राइट, एंड इसके करस्पॉन्डिंग में है दिस इज ए पैरा पोजीशन, राइट. तो यहाँ पे अगर OH अटैच्ड है मींस 1, 4 पोजीशन पे, सो दिस इज योर नोन एज योर hydroquinone. Hydroquinone, right? और सिंपली इसे हम क्विनोल भी कहते हैं, क्विनोल। या सो यू हैव टू रिमेम्बर दिस नेम्स, आपको पता होना चाहिए ये सब नेम। क्लियर आहिल?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is it hydroquinol or quinone?
हाइड्रोक्विनोल,
Quinone, okay.
या हाइड्रोक्विनोल।
Yes, ma'am.
क्लियर?
Yeah.
तो हाइड्रोक्विनोन एंड या फिर इसे हम क्विनोल भी कहते हैं, NOL।
Yeah.
नाउ द नेक्स्ट, लेट्स सी, and other than this polyhydric growth, like more than one is known as polyhydric. So more than one OH group is attached, then it is known as polyhydric. Now the next is your monohydric classification. Monohydric classification. So first is based on hybridization of carbon. Of, of carbon to which the OH group is attached. इसकी hybridization की हम बात करेंगे, right? The first one is the compound containing the OH group which is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon. This type of bond. Now see if these OH is attached. Now in this type, the OH is directly attached to the sp3 hybridized carbon, right, of the alkyl group. So, and these can be classified further as we have discussed in the previous class, just like हमने haloalkanes के लिए किया था, right? So similarly, we will classify them as primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohol, then allylic type of alcohol, vinylic type of alcohol, and so on. Right? So write down in this OH group is attached to sp3 hybridized orbit carbon atom of alkyl group, of your alkyl group. And these can be classified further as first one, write down primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohol. Tertiary alcohol. तो मैं alcohol को direct OH लिखती हूँ, या you can write down the whole thing, alcohol. Okay, suppose if I give you examples like R, CH2, and OH. Right, so we have to check this OH group is attached to this carbon, right? And this carbon is basically a primary alcohol. This is a primary carbon, right? Because this is further attached to only one group, one alkyl group, right? So this is your primary
Yeah.
alcohol. Now see, suppose if there is a CH group and OH is attached here, and there are two substituent over here, right? Now you can see again, this is your secondary alcohol, right? This is your secondary. Say similarly, the tertiary के case में क्या होगा? So it will be attached to three groups, three subsequent over here. Right, so this carbon is basically a tertiary carbon, and this whole is known as tertiary alcohol. Tertiary OH or tertiary alcohol, you can say. Right, so basically these are classified in three types: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Second classification, allylic alcohol. Allylic alcohol.
What?
What is allylic alcohol? जैसे allylic आपने पढ़ा था लास्ट क्लास में, alkyl halide, allylic halide. So that is much similar to that. Allylic means वहां पे क्या था आपका halogen groups था, but here we are talking
हाँ,
about the alcohol groups, OH group, hydroxyl group. Tell
हाँ.
me, what is allylic alcohol?
It was allylic was directly attached to the carbon, right? Double carbon.
Which carbon?
That double bonded carbon.
Yeah, not directly attached. OH group is basically further first attached to the sp3 hybridized carbon, and that sp3 hybridized carbon is uh,
Yeah,
uh, attached to the
yeah.
carbon-carbon double bond, means sp2 hybridized, right? So what
Mm.
happens here? The OH group is attached to your, this is your sp3 hybridized carbon, and this sp3 hybridized carbon is attached to your carbon-carbon double, right? Carbon-carbon double bond means this is your sp2 hybridized. This is your sp3 hybridized carbon. And this sp3, this carbon is known as your allylic carbon, right? This carbon is known as your allylic carbon. So basically, what happens in this, and this is very important, it's allylic alcohol is important, basic questions are there. So in this OH group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon, which is adjacent to the carbon-carbon double bond, right? Or you can write sp2 hybridized. And you can write on the examples here. CH2, an example. Now tell me, first one, which type of allylic alcohol is this? It's a primary one, right? You can see
Yeah,
it's
this
a
is
primary one.
allylic.
Yeah, this is allylic, I know, but this is your primary allylic. Primary
Yeah,
allylic alcohol. See the second one?
mm,
So this is your secondary allylic.
secondary. Yeah,
Yeah, allylic carbon से कितने वो two groups are attached, right? This is a
two. Mm.
secondary allylic alcohol. Now the third case is, you can see there are three groups which is attached to this allylic
Mm.
carbon. This is the allylic carbon, and there are three groups: R group, and this is CH group. So this is your tertiary allylic alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now the third one is your benzylic alcohol. Now benzylic means, similarly जो हमने पढ़ा था, in hydroid case. So OH group is first attached to the sp3 hybridized carbon, and that sp3 hybridized carbon is directly attached to the aromatic ring, right? So that's the benzylic type of
Yeah.
alcohol. So here OH group, first write down the example. Suppose this is the aromatic ring, and here the CH2 group, which is sp3 hybridized, and इससे आपका OH group attached. So you can see this is your sp3 hybridized carbon, and this carbon is known as your benzylic carbon. इस carbon को हम क्या कहेंगे? This is your benzylic carbon. So basically OH group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon next to aromatic ring. Okay, suppose I put you some examples. Okay, now see, you can see you have to check this is your benzylic carbon. The OH group which is attached to the sp3 hybridized carbon, this carbon is your benzylic carbon. Right? Benzylic carbon या halidic carbon कौन सा होगा जिससे आपका OH group attached होगा. So you have
Yes.
to check, you just have to check the benzylic carbon से आपके कितने groups attached, right? So only one carbon, one group is attached, right? So this is your primary. This is your primary benzylic alcohol. Now see, this is your again benzylic carbon. Benzylic carbon से कितने groups attached हैं? So this is one group and
Two,
this is your
two
second group.
groups.
So this is your secondary carbon, secondary benzylic alcohol. Similarly, यहाँ पे कितने groups हैं? Three groups. So
Three groups.
tertiary. Clear?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the write down the B part. So the compound containing sp2 hydrous carbon से अगर आपका OH group attached to this type of bond. Yeah. So here's a vinylic type of vinylic alcohol. Right. Now what is vinylic type of alcohol? So it's very simple. So when the OH group is attached to a directly attached to the sp3 hydrous carbon. Okay, just like this. When CH2 CH and you have the OH. You can see this OH group is directly attached to this carbon, right? So this carbon is known as vinylic carbon, right? And this vinylic carbon is
Yeah.
basically sp2 hybridized carbon, right? So this is your vinylic
Yeah.
type of alcohol. Vinylic type of alcohol. So write down in this type of alcohol, OH group is attached to a double bonded. Second, second type. So the second type is your arylic type, arylic alcohol. Arylic alcohol basically it's your phenols, right? Means when the
Yeah.
OH group is directly attached to the aromatic hydrocarbon, aromatic ring. So when your hydroxyl group, OH group is directly attached to the aromatic ring, just like our case of your phenol, right? So in phenol, the OH group is directly attached to the aromatic ring, and this you can see this carbon is your sp2 hybrid, right? So this is your phenol. Similarly, another examples, if this is a phenol and यहाँ पे मैं एक substitution दे दूँ CH3, so what we call it as? We call it as a orthocresol.
Correct.
It's a cresol. When see, this is a phenol group, right? OH group is there on the first position, right? So this is a phenol. And when on the second position, यहाँ पे अगर मैं methyl group लगा दूँ, so means this is the ortho position. When you corresponding to this group, this is your alcohol. Sorry, this is your phenol ring, right? This is your phenol.
Yeah.
And phenol है यहाँ पे क्या है? This is ortho position, this is your meta, and this is your para. Again, this is your meta and this is your para, right? Now on ortho position, when I attach the methyl group, so what we call it as we call it as a orthocresol. इसे हम क्या कहते हैं? Orthocresol. Similarly, अगर मैं
Orthocresol.
मेटा पोजिशन पे अगर मैं लगा दूं मिथाइल ग्रुप, तो वी कॉल इट एज अ मेटाक्रेसोल. सिमिलरली यहाँ पे पैरा पोजिशन पे अगर मैं मिथाइल ग्रुप लगा दूं, तो वी कॉल इट एज अ पैराक्रेसोल. क्लियर?
Yes.
एंड ऑर्थो को हम ओनली स्मॉल ओ से डिनोट करते हैं, ऑर्थो एंड क्रेसोल. So that's all about the classification of alcohols and phenols. Now see ethers. Let's talk about ethers.
Ma'am, could you scroll up ahead to, I think I missed
Right.
a point.
Yeah, yeah, sure. From here,
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am. Done, done. Thank you, ma'am.
okay, now see ethers. So basically, there are two types of ethers. First one is your simple ethers. Simple means the symmetrical ones. Symmetrical ethers. Second one is your mixed. Mixed or unsymmetrical आप कह सकते हो. Unsymmetrical. Unsymmetrical type of ethers. So in the simple one, आप कुछ ऐसा ethers देखोगे like ROR. Right? ये जो ऑक्सीजन है उसके राइट हैंड साइड एंड द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड यू विल गेट द सेम टाइप ऑफ सिमिलर substituent. Means if the
Yeah,
here the alkyl group is there, like any CH3 group, तो है इस साइड में आपका CH3 group होगा. Means same
yeah.
alkyl group will be there. So this is a symmetrical one. Similarly, अगर आपका कोई aromatic ring है from the left and right, so both the aromatic ring will be the same. So it's a symmetrical type. Now, in a mixed type, ये क्या होता है mixed type में? So it will be ROR dash, right? So R is different from the R dash. Here, suppose यहाँ पे अगर CH3 है, तो यहाँ पे कुछ और होगा आपका, like C2H5 होगा, right? CH2, CH2,
Yes.
CH3 होगा, something like that. और your R, O, और यहाँ पे आपका aromatic use होगा. That means you will get a mixed type of a substituent over here, right? So this is sometimes ये क्या होगा यहाँ पे R आपका aliphatic होगा and यहाँ पे aromatic होगा, right? So that is your
Yeah.
unsymmetrical type of. So we will discuss how to name this type of. In symmetrical हम कैसे name लिखते हैं, and in unsymmetrical how we can write down the name, common name and IUPAC name. So let's take
Yeah.
some examples in symmetrical. Suppose let's take a very easy example, CH3, 4, CH3. Now you can see both are the same, right? Methyl group, methyl group. So in the symmetrical type, it's very easy to name this compound. right? So it's methyl, right? So two methyls are there, so we'll write di methyl and last में हम क्या लिखेंगे ethyl, dimethyl ethyl. Similarly, for the second type, let's take symmetrical again. So C2H5, यहाँ पे oxygen and again यहाँ पे C2H. What will be the name of this, Ahil?
This will be diethyl ether.
Yeah, it's diethyl ether. Diethyl ether, right? यहाँ पे तो कोई मसला नहीं. It's very simple to name the symmetrical one. But now see, here the example is take example in the mixed type. Suppose यहाँ पे मैं CH3 oxygen and here C2H3, right? So here the methyl group is there and here the ethyl group is there. Right? So how we can write down the name? First we will talk about the common name. So common name में always we write down the ether at last, right? Ether हम last में लिखते हैं and we just write down the smallest carbon chain first, right? हम जो longest carbon chain है इसे हम as a parent chain लेते हैं. Okay, so basically the it will be methyl. This is a methyl. The common name लिखना बहुत ही simple है. It's methyl. And what is this? This is ethyl. Methyl, ethyl, ether. Right? इसके लिए हम अलग
Okay.
से नेम दे रहे हैं, ईथर दे रहे हैं. बट व्हाट अबाउट इन IUPAC nomenclature? IUPAC nomenclature में हम क्या करते हैं? The smallest one, we just take it as a parent chain. Longest chain को हम parent chain लेते हैं and ये जो oxygen है, this will goes with this CH3, right? So I just told you जब हम किसी भी alkyl group को oxygen के साथ हम what we call it as, we call it as a alkoxy. Alkyl group with oxygen, we call it as an oxy, right? Oxygen के लिए हम क्या use करते हैं? Oxy. And for alkyl we just use alkoxy, right? So this is your
Okay.
methyl group. This is your methyl group. So we write name as a methoxy. Just a second. This is the oxy, methoxy, ethane.
Ethane.
Yeah, ethane. Similarly, for the second, suppose this is your benzene ring. Here the oxygen is attached. So again, this is a mixed type. So how we uh, basically first write on the IUPAC nomenclature, right? See, so जो हमारा smallest होता है, the smallest carbon chain को हम इस ऑक्सीजन के साथ इंक्लूड कर लेते हैं, राइट? हम इसे हम क्या करते हैं, इसे हम अलग से लिखते हैं इन लगा के, पेरेंट चेन हम इसे लेते हैं. तो व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज, सो बेसिकली इसे हम सब्स्टिट्यूएंट की तरह लेंगे CH3O को. तो बेसिकली दिस इज योर अल्कोक्सी. व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज अ methoxy.
Methox.
Methoxy. And what is this? This is your benzene, methoxy benzene.
Benzene.
It's very simple, right? And see the
Yeah.
common name of this, common name इसका है anisole. What is this? Anisole. When
Anisole.
benzene पे अगर आपको OCH3 group is attached, so this is known as your anisole. Anisole.
Anisole.
Yeah. And again, इसका हम और भी नाम दे सकते हैं. What is this? Commonly we can call it as a methyl, phenyl, and ethyl. Methyl. This is a methyl group. This is your phenyl group, and this इसके लिए हम क्या use करते हैं? Ether. Methyl, phenyl, ether. Clear?
Yeah.
So let's take one more example. Suppose there is a benzene ring. Another benzene ring. Now, how we can name this? First, let's talk about the common name and then IUPAC name. Yeah. See this. So this is basically your this is your phenyl ring, right? What is this? This is your benzyl. So basically इसका हम common name कैसे लिखते हैं? Benzyl, right? phenyl, phenyl and ether. इसके लिए हम क्या यूज करते हैं? बेसिकली वी कॉल इट एज अ बेंजीन रिंग है, राइट? तो बेंजाइल हम यूज करते हैं एंड दिस इज योर
Yeah.
फिनाइल। यहाँ पे ऑब्वियसली यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन को सब्स्टिट्यूट रिप्लेस करके यहाँ पे OCH2 लगा है, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली हम कैसे लिखते हैं? बेंजाइल फिनाइल एंड ईथर, बेंजाइल फिनाइल एंड ईथर। द कॉमन नेम इज नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। बेसिकली आपका आयोपैक नॉमेनक्लेचर इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट। कुछ कुछ कंपाउंड्स के
Okay.
हैं जिसके आपको कॉमन नेम आपको याद रखना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। जस्ट लाइक यहाँ पे
Yeah.
मैंने कहा एनिसोल, राइट? तो यू शुड नो दैट इफ बेंजीन पे अगर मैं कहीं पे भी OCH3 ग्रुप लगा देती हूँ तो दिस इज योर एनिसोल, राइट? अगर मैं कहीं
Yeah.
पे भी सपोज यहाँ पे दिस इज योर OH ग्रुप एंड ऑन द meta position, if I attach the OH group here, so what we call it as a, we call it as a resource, you know. तो आपको इस टाइप की कॉमन नेम याद रखनी होगी, and that is quite
Yeah.
important. So
Ma'am, I didn't
it's,
under.
yeah, I mean,
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how did phenyl come in the name? I didn't understand that part. It was benzyl phenyl ether, right?
yeah, benzyl phenyl ether, right? So
Yeah.
benzyl, you can see there is a OCH2 group over here, right? इसके लिए
Yeah.
हम क्या यूज करेंगे? इथाइल यूज करेंगे, इथर यूज करेंगे, right? And you can see
Yeah.
this is your benzene ring. Just a second.
Yeah.
Just a second. This is your, yeah, this is your oxygen group over here. So oxygen ring over here, right? So इसके लिए हम क्या use करें? We call it as a ether. Now you can see this is your phenyl ring, right? This is your phenyl ring. तो इसके लिए हम क्या use करेंगे? We call it as a phenyl, phenyl ether. Now see, for this we call it as a CH2 over here, right? Methyl group,
Yeah.
which is directly attached to the, this is directly attached to the benzene ring, right? This is directly attached to the benzene ring. तो इसके लिए हम क्या यूज कर सकते हैं? इसके लिए हम क्या यूज करेंगे? बेंजाइल बेसिकली, because
Benzyl. Okay.
I just told you, yeah, yeah, I, do you have any question?
No, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, you were saying, yeah, you that you told me something.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Just a second. Yeah, I sorry for the disturbance.
So no problem,
Hello.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, see. First, tell me IUPAC nomenclature. Let's see the IUPAC nomenclature. Then we will discuss this. How to write down the common name. Okay, so see IUPAC nomenclature हम कैसे लिखेंगे? So you can see over here. This is phenoxy, right? This is attached to
Yeah,
this. The phenol ring से ये attached है, तो we will call it as a just like a R group से O attached है, तो we call it as a alkoxy, right? So this is the
yeah,
aryl group here. So aryloxy. And aryl क्या है यहाँ पे? This is a basically phenyl group. So we call it as a
yeah,
phenoxy, right? And this is the methyl benzene, methyl benzene. Okay, now see. So basically, this common name. See, तो यहाँ इसका कॉमन नेम क्या होगा? सबसे पहले देखो C6. This is your basically your this is a phenyl group which is derived from benzene, right? This is your phenyl ring C6H5. तो हम
yeah,
इसको आप कैसे लिखते हो? सपोज अगर मैं इसे लिखूं C6H5, समटाइम्स आपके एग्जाम्स में ऐसे नहीं होंगे, समटाइम्स इस भी दे रखा होगा C6H5 and O CH2 C6H5, this type, right? So you can see
yeah,
this C6H5, this basically it represents a phenyl group, right? ये क्या है आपका phenyl group है, right? And now see this O, this whole group, this OCH2 C6H5, this part of the molecule basically ये क्या कर रहा है? Ether linkage दिखा रहा है. Oxygen, this is basically यहाँ पे ether linkage दिखा रहा है. This is a benzyl group. दिस
okay,
इज योर सी. मैंने यहाँ पे बेंजाइलिक टाइप ऑफ अल्कोहल में डिस्कस किया था. व्हाट इज बेंजाइलिक, right? This type of linkage is a benzylic alcohol, right? When the benzene ring
yeah,
is there, a benzene ring से attached है कोई carbon, right? This
yeah,
carbon is known as your benzylic alcohol, benzylic carbon, right? तो basically अगर
yeah,
किसी में भी आपका ये आपका benzene ring है and if it is attached to CH2 group और उससे कुछ linkage है यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन, राइट? तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन लिंकेज कैसे आया? यहाँ पे हाइड्रोजन इज रिप्लेस्ड, हाइड्रोजन यहाँ से रिमूव हुआ, राइट? और वहां पे वो क्या हो गया?
mm,
फिनाइल रिंग्स अटैच हो गया. देन यू गॉट दिस लिंकेज, राइट? सो दिस इज नथिंग
yeah,
बट दिस इज अ बेंजाइलिक ग्रुप. यहाँ पे क्या है आपका? ये बेंजाइलिक ग्रुप है, दिस होल ग्रुप, ठीक? यहाँ पे अगर आप
yeah,
हाइड्रोजन लगा दो तो दिस इज योर होल ग्रुप इज योर बेंजाइलिक ग्रुप. तो वी कैन राइट इट एज अ फिनाइल. बेसिकली ये फिनाइल था. दिस इज योर बेंजाइल, राइट? तो जिसके साथ ऑक्सीजन होता है वी कॉल इट एज अ सब्स्टिट्यूएंट, राइट? ऑक्सीजन के साथ ईथर के साथ जिसका लिंकेज होता है उसे हम पहले लिखते हैं, राइट? और रेस्ट के जो ये होते हैं इसे हम एज अ पेरेंट ट्रीट करते हैं, इसे हम रूट वर्ड लेते हैं. तो
okay,
वी कैन राइट इट एज अ बेंजाइल, राइट? फिनाइल. एंड व्हाट अबाउट दिस इज योर ईथर.
it's
इज इट
okay.
क्लियर? आप समझ आया?
Yes, ma'am. जी, ma'am.
Now, separately, we will discuss about the nomenclature of alcohols, phenols.
Okay.
So, you have written till here.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, write on the heading nomenclature of alcohols, phenols. First, we will talk about the alcohols. So, see, in alcohols, when we write down the common name, so it's very simple. So you have to write down the alkyl and at last of alcohol over. Alkyl alcohol. If there is a methyl group, so methyl alcohol. And in IUPAC nomenclature, in IUPAC name, we have to write for alcohols के लिए हम क्या suffix use करते हैं? We use the suffix all. We use the suffix
Yes.
all for alcohols. Now here's a structure. To simplify this, I will write on the structure. Structure. First, we will write down the prefix plus your parent chain, then your primary suffix, then your secondary suffix. Yeah. So that's the whole structure for naming any alcohol.
Yeah.
Now see what is suffix. So suffix basically क्या होता है आपका substituent होता है. Substituent which is present in the main chain. Substituent present in the chain. Now what is parent chain? So parent chain is basically the largest chain. Largest chain is the parent chain. And we, you know very well, for 2 carbon chain, we just use it. For 3, we just use prop, but, and so on.
Yeah.
And what is primary suffix? So primary suffix basically, it tells us about the nature of bond. Whether the bond is singly bonded, whether it's double bonded, whether it's a triple bonded, and so on. Right? So
Yeah.
primary suffix, it just tells us about the nature of bonds. So we just use in के लिए हम, if there is a carbon-carbon single bond, so we just use in alkane. For alkane, we just double bond, and for carbon-carbon triple bond, we just use alkyne group. So means ine as a suffix. Ine as a primary suffix. And the secondary suffix we, for alcohol, we just take it as a ol. Ol is the secondary suffix. Now write on the note here. Now see, if only one hydroxyl group is present, right? If only one hydroxyl group is present, then क्या होता है जो आपका alkene है, suppose alkene is there, alkene में का जो E होता है last में, this E is removed and directly ol आप लगा देते. After writing the
Okay.
ane, only you will write an, not ane. E will be removed and you just directly write down the ol. Right?
Yeah.
All word. So this is for only one hydroxyl group. If only one hydroxyl group is present. If more than one hydroxyl group is present, then आप E को remove नहीं करते, आप E को भी लिखते हो. Right? E should be retained there and आप last में end में O लगाते. Right? Because you have to write on the position of the OH group. Like one position here, two
Mm.
positions, so you have to write down.
Okay.
So write down if only one OH group is present. What we are supposed to do? E of alkane is removed and directly whole is written after that. And in case of polyhydric alcohol, means more than one hydroxyl group is there. What we are supposed to do? The E of alkane is retained. Is retained and at end all is added.
Mom, can you give an example?
Yeah, yeah. See, if suppose up one ka to easily आप you can write. Suppose if I write CH3OH, very simple. So what I will write और मैं यहाँ पे कर देती हूँ CH2 and suppose this is your CH3. So this is your ethanol, right? So what I will write? So I will write ethane, right? Ethane one ol और directly ethanol आप लिख सकते हो. Ethanol means you have just you can see ये क्या है आपका ethane लास्ट में आपका ओल है वर्ड द सेकेंडरी सफिक्स तो आप ई को रिमूव कर देते हो और आप इथेनॉल लिखते हो राइट इथेनॉल बट सी
Yeah.
if there are two OH group टू OH group suppose मैं सेम एग्जांपल्स का देती हूँ जो आपको दिया था मैंने suppose there are two ethene group and OH group is attached right यहाँ पे दो OH group में लगा दूँ तो इसे मैं क्या लिखूंगी what will be the IUPAC nomenclature ethane right so one second position basically this is your parent chain and both on both the carbon the hydroxyl group is attached so ethane 1 2 diol तो यहाँ पे you can see E जो हो रहा इथेन का I have written E also I don't there is no need to remove this E when the number of hydroxyl group is more than one right but if
Yeah.
only one hydroxyl group is there so you have to remove E and you can just add the OL group at that ethanol clear
Yeah. This one.
and यहाँ पे अगर आप पोजीशन भी लिख रहे हो suppose on the first carbon the hydroxyl group is attached so you will write ethane not E ethane 1 ol or ethane 2 ol
Oh, okay.
yeah and I'll give you some more examples yeah I'm writing the compound here structure of compound common name here and here the IUPAC name. Mhm. Okay, first one, quickly write down the common name and IUPAC name.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah, हो गया Ahil?
Yes,
Common
ma'am.
name and
Can you?
IUPAC. Yeah,
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
me.
I didn't write the common names yet because I wrote iPad name.
Yeah, sometimes common name भी questions में आ जाते
Uh, so the first one, IUPAC name was methanol.
हैं. Yeah, and all.
Now, yeah, I forgot how to do the common name. Yes.
Okay, it's very simple. You have to write on the alkyl group first and alcohol at last. Methyl
Okay.
alcohol. This is your methyl alcohol.
Okay.
Similarly, this is your normal structure, right?
Yes.
So you will
So
write N. What is the three
propyl,
carbon? For three carbon, we call it
propyl.
propyl alcohol. Now see this one, how we can write down the
Mm.
name. You can see this is your isopropyl. This one, two,
I
three.
see.
This is your isopropyl. So this is your isopropyl alcohol. Alcohol, right? And this structure.
This is also ice. No, this is bute, right?
This is your butyl alcohol, but this is your sec butyl, right?
Like butyl, yeah.
Yeah. So this is your sec butyl alcohol. Now this one.
This one
1, 2,
is
3. You can see this. This is iso. Again, this is your
ISO.
isobutyl. Iso 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And you have to isobutyl alcohol. And this is your, you can see this is a tertiary butyl, right? 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 4 carbon chain, and this is a tertiary structure. So you can write tertiary, we write third. We write word third butyl. For this one, last name is very, very
This is
foreign.
this will be for IUPAC. It will be ethane 1, 2 diol, and for common name it will be ethyl dialcohol, right?
Ethylene glycol, I told you. This is
Ethylene
the
glycol.
glycol. You can see
Oh
this
yes,
is
this is
your
ethylene glycol.
CH2,
Yeah.
CH2. मैंने क्या किया है यहाँ पे attach कर दिया. It's the same बच्चे, right? So
Yeah.
this is your ethylene glycol.
Yeah. So the next one is glycerol.
This one, last one.
Glycerol. Glycerol.
Yeah, very good. It's glycol.
Yeah.
Okay, you have written the IUPAC name of all these.
Oh no, you didn't show the last one, so I didn't write that down. The last three.
Okay. Okay, the last one. The starting one, very, very simple. Last two, I think I have discussed it with you. Ethane, 1,2-diol.
Yeah.
This is your propane triol. Propane,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, triol. And what about this?
This will be 1, 2. So not 1, 2. 1, 1 dimethyl uh, ethanol.
Are you
Ethanol. Yeah.
sure? Are you sure? I told you how to find the parent chain. Parent chain is the longest chain होता है,
Oh
right?
yes,
So
yes,
you
yes.
can take this also 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
ऐसे भी आप ले सकते हो. This one chain और आप इस तरह से भी ले सकते हो. These three. So
Yes.
in both the cases name same ही होगा. So this will
Yeah.
be 1, 2 and 3. Right? So what will be the
Yes.
name now? 2
So 2
methyl.
methyl. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 methyl
Propane 2 all.
propane 2. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And this one?
This one is 1, 2. So it is 2 propyl. No, 2 methyl.
Yeah,
2 methyl propanol.
yeah, very good. Propane 1. Yeah, so you can see now here only one OH group is attached. So हम क्या यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं? We just omitted the E
Yeah.
word
The
from
E.
the propane, right? But in the
Yeah.
when the more than one OH group is there, so we have written E, right? We यहाँ
Yeah.
पे E को remove नहीं किया. So that's the difference between these. I think बाकी तो आपने कर ही लिया होगा. It's very simple. Okay, so let's move to the next
Yes.
part. So let's see how to name the cyclic type of structure. अगर आपका cyclic aliphatic type of alkyl group दिया हुआ है, तो how to name that? So cyclic, write down the cyclic alcohol. Yeah, so basically, cyclic alcohols are named using the prefix cyclo. Cyclo word हम use करते हैं as a prefix, and consider the carbon to which the hydroxyl group is attached as carbon 1 always. जहाँ पे जिस कार्बन से OH group attached है, so consider that carbon as a carbon 1. वहां से आपको start करना है numbering. Suppose
Yeah.
if there is a cyclic structure, right, and here the OH group is attached. So what I told you, so always start the numbering from that carbon to which the OH group is attached. So OH group is attached to this carbon, so we'll start the numbering from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's a 6-membered group, right? So it's a closed chain. So and it's a cyclic structure, you can see. So हम क्या use करेंगे? just write out cyclo word, right? And how many carbon is there? 6 carbon. So it's a cyclohexanol, right? Cyclohexanol. Similarly, you will tell me about this. Suppose this is your chain. Now tell me the name of this.
Yeah. So this will be
First, you will write on the subsequent. If you, I
first up,
just
yeah.
told
So
you, यहाँ से
two,
आप starting करोगे, it's 1, 2,
yes,
yeah, 2,
two methyl
yeah,
cyclopentanol.
yeah, very good.
Cyclopentanol.
Cyclopentanol,
Pentanol.
very good. Yeah, so that's how we can name the cyclic type of factor. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Now write down the phenols. In the aromatic alcohol. Now the basically phenol is the simplest hydroxy derivative of benzene. We know very well. Phenol क्या है? It's a simplest hydroxy derivative of benzene. So structure of
Yeah.
phenol is this is a benzene ring and it's a derivative of the hydroxy derivative means OH group is attached to this carbon. So this is a phenol. Now see in common name, how to write the phenol. So basically we ortho हम use करते हैं ortho for 1,2 disubstituted. 1,2 disubstituted. And one position is always for the OH, this OH group of phenol, right? So suppose this is your benzene and यहाँ पे आपको OH group है, right? So this is your phenol. And on the second position, there is a group, any group, right?
Yeah.
So we call it
Yeah.
as a ortho. We call it as a, if 1,2 disubstituted, one position is always for the hydroxyl group and on the second position if there is a substitution, so we call it as a ortho. उसके लिए क्या यूज करते हैं ऑर्थो एंड ऑर्थो के
Ortho.
लिए वी जस्ट यूज ओनली ओ यूज फॉर द ऑर्थो
Okay.
एंड सपोज इफ देयर इज अ 1,3 disubstitution 1,3 disubstitution just like here one position is always fixed for the OH group and suppose this 1 2 and third on the third position there is a group, right? So this is your 1,3 disubstitution. So for this we use meta के लिए हम small m use. Similarly for 1,4 disubstitution, one position is
Para.
always for, yeah, and here is some group. So इसके लिए हम क्या use करें? We call it as a para, right? In the common names we call it as a para के लिए small p. So basically these are used in the common names, so just remember that. Now if let's write down, let's take some examples. Suppose, yeah, तो ये क्या आपका है? This is your phenol. Suppose this is a CH3 group और यहाँ पे मैं अटैच कर दूँ OH. Another example ले लेते हैं. Suppose this is your CH3 group and your OH group is attached. OH group is attached. Here we will write down the common name and here we will write down the IUPAC name. Now this is known as, this is your phenol. It's, you know very well. And in IUPAC nomenclature, it is also known as a phenol. Now see this. See this. So I just told you when a 1,2 disubstitution is there, so it will be known as ortho, right? Ortho कहेंगे. And
Yes.
one. Suppose we always start from the one from here of the hydroxyl group, right? So 1 and 2. So this is again a 1,2 substitution. So this is a ortho. And in common nomenclature, name is क्या होता है? It's orthocresol, right? Orthocresol.
Yes,
When
so
on the second position, the methyl group is attached. On the first position, there is a OH group, right? 1,2 substitution or substitution other, because we know that OH is fixed, right? Because we are talking about the phenol. And
yeah,
substitution, if there is a ortho position पे अगर आपका methyl group है, then it is known as a threshold, ortho threshold. And what will be the IUPAC name? So we will start the numbering obviously from the first here, where the hydroxyl group is attached to. Okay, so this is its 2 position. So we called it as 2-methyl phenol. Yeah. Third,
yeah,
just for third, we use metacresol. We call metacresol, right? So corresponding to OH, what is the position? So this is a, if यहाँ पे OH fixed है, so obviously this is the ortho and this is the meta position, right? This is a meta position, so we call it as a metacresol. So what will be the IUPAC name of this? So obviously, let's start from naming from this 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So this is your 3-methyl phenol.
yes,
3-methyl phenol. Similarly, this is your paracresol, right? And what is the name? So this is your 4-methyl phenol. Yeah, is it clear?
yeah, yes, ma'am.
So write it down. And
Yes,
for rest nomenclature, we will discuss in the next one. We will discuss
yes, ma'am.
about the ethers and the structure of alcohols, and we will move to the most important topic, methods of preparation. Yeah, is it
Yes, ma'am.
clear, Ahil? Any doubt from
Yeah,
today's session?
no, ma'am, not for presentation. Ma'am, I just wanted to know how many classes do you think it'll take to finish this chapter?
I think this chapter is very lengthy and it will take time because हमें uh, I think हमें ये पढ़ना है like your methods of preparation में time जाएगा and your chemical reactions में भी काफी time लगेगा. I think so it will take 4 to 5 classes to complete
Okay.
this chapter. Yeah, आपके exams I think
Okay.
September में, right?
Yeah, September end.
And you have doubts in which chapters? Like आपने कहा कि solution tab chapter you have completed, haloalkanes and
Yeah,
haloarenes you have completed.
yeah.
And so which chapters आपको complete करना है till exam?
Till exam, I think alcohol phenol ether, DNF compounds,
Hmm.
or that's mainly the
That's
idea that I have. I don't know from where our sir will start the other chapters. Will he teach from organic or from
okay.
physical chemistry?
Okay, physical, all topics are clear. Which chapters are coming in your exam?